The thing about mountain biking is it's easy to get sucked into the deep end. You might start off with a cheap hardtail and it's great. And all of a sudden you start looking at the next best bike and then the next best bike. And all of a sudden you're throwing lots of money at a bike. But these are the 6 worst things about expensive bikes. Number 1, there's a risk that you look like you've got all the gear and no idea. And I still think I look like that sometimes. You definitely start getting some looks off people if you've got a very fancy bike that's quite like leery as well. Lots of bright colours and fancy kit, electric gears. Sometimes in the car park when you're getting ready, people will look at you and think, I hope he knows how to ride that. But is that the be all and end all? Should that really matter? I guess for a lot of people it doesn't. You can ride whatever you want to ride. But be aware, there might be a few more eyeballs on you. They are expensive to replace. The money doesn't stop going out the door as soon as you've got the bike because the chains and the cassettes wear out just like the cheaper ones. So if you're lucky enough to have a SRAM Eagle Gold cassette like this one, it's lovely, it works really well, but eventually it'll wear out just like any other cassette. Also, one thing for me is something like this that's worth a lot of money, other people will look at it and want it as well. So one thing I'm definitely most worried about with expensive bikes is getting them stolen. Expensive bikes can be slightly heartbreaking to break. Things eventually go wrong with mountain bikes. They get scratched, they get thrown around. If you live in the UK, they get abused most of the year in the mud. So they will start to look a bit used. That's the great thing about cheap bikes. You can throw them in the back of the van, in the car, on an uplift. You're less worried about them getting dinged. Whereas an expensive bike, I'm looking at my rear mech here, it's got a bit of a scratch on there. The frame could do with a bit of a polish. You need the money to be able to replace things when they go wrong. I've already said that, but also it's seeing your pride and joy starting to wear into the ground a little bit is slightly heartbreaking. The more money you spend on your bike, the more fiddly features you're likely to get. One thing I'm really thinking about is suspension. The more advanced suspension, shocks and forks, just to have more things set up, high speed, low speed, this and that, compression, rebound. Whilst you can't break them by fiddling with them, you can make your bike worse. It can ride way worse. So it's worth educating yourself about how to fiddle with those things and don't get it wrong. Once you've had a nice, expensive bike, it's hard to go back. I need my gold and my oil slick fill. Don't get me started on riding other people's bikes. Just don't do it. Mates' bikes, they're rubbish. Last but not least, the hit that your bank account takes. You can spend 8, 9, 10,000 pounds on a mountain bike these days. Crazy money, I know. And it's all relative. Maybe you earn loads of money, it's fine. But don't sort of ignore the fact that these things will take a hit on your finances. That's probably the worst thing about owning an expensive mountain bike. All right, let us know in the comments down below, what is your dream mountain bike? Is it an expensive one, or are you happy with what you've got? Don't forget that an expensive bike will still, in 2 years' time, look a bit old as well. So will you then need to buy another expensive bike? Does it go around forever? Who knows? Let us know what you think down below and give us a thumbs up.